There are so many religions, religious school and teaching. The people follow these teachings according to their faith and their liking. Whoever follow this any kind of teaching to find a happiness. But the problem is it possible to find a happiness in this way? Because most of the teaching like blind men views. No one know, no one say, but follow. To see the real happiness, not enough. Others' guidance, but need personal experience, personal knowledge. Then only can see real realization. If one has realization, can see the real happiness, the final attainment. So, for the realizations, one must practice, develop, and make much on same thing leads to the realization, which leads to the realization. Hello, my Dhamma friends. Welcome to my next video. Let's follow the Buddha's path. In today's video, I'm going to tell about process of realization and attainment. Process of realization and attainment. First of all, let's start with homage to the Blessed One. Namo te purisa janya, Namo te purisuttama, Namo te purisa tulya, Namo te purisa sabba, Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa. Let's go to the discussion. Today's topic is process of realization and attainment. When do we realize? How do we realize? When do we realize and how do we realize? It should start with 12 steps of learning process. 12 steps of learning process. Blessed One, it's clearly explained in the discourse called Chanki, which is found in Majjhima Nikaya. Chanki discourse. Yeah. Chanki is from the clans of Brahmana Mahasala. In ancient India, they are the highest clans, eminent, and they are the only one who has privilege to learn and to be an advisor of the king and to be a teachers. Chanki is the name. He's the leader of that clan. and his most prominent, highly esteemed inhabitants. Therefore, King Kosala gave him well-populated, prosperous and beautiful village called Upasad as a gift. It was located at near to the Sal Tree Park, very beautiful park. So this village called the Deity's Forest. This discourse opened with the arrival of Blessed One with large committee of monks to that beautiful village. Apparently, the Blessed One's fame presides Chunky. Villagers are preparing to visit the Blessed One. By seeing these, the Chunky impresses and decided to visit. But during this period, for some reasons, have come some visiting Brahmin, about 500 to this area. They heard about Chunky's ideas. Then they discouraged and protest. They asked not to go, but Chunky replied them, reckless Gautama has all kind of Brahminical qualities, even more. Therefore it is suitable to see such a reckless. Chunky said. When heard about this, that visiting Brahmin, all of them 500s, also agreed to join with Chunky to see the Blessed One. And there was a young man, still in 16 years of old, but well educated. He also joined. Now the meeting with Blessed One, that group of Brahmin. That young man, his name is Karpatika. He was carefully listening. As he is well educated, he over enthusiastic, then hardly waited to question the Blessed One about very important things, because as he is well educated, when listening to the discussion, spring up lot of question. That's the reason. When his turn is come, he asked from the Blessed One about Brahminical teaching, Veda. In my last discussion, I little bit explained about that, what is Veda and the meaning of that. Anyway, in this discourse, that Karpatika asks from the Blessed One about the teaching. It's mentioned in discourse like this. Good Gautama, what do you think about Brahminical orthodoxy? Whether the Veda is only the truth, whether the Veda only the truth and all else are false, he asks from the Blessed One. Then Blessed One asked, Bharadwaja. Blessed One always use the clan's name. Bharadwaja means that young man's clan's name. Bharadwaja, is there any single Brahmin who says, I know this, I see this is only the truth, all else are false? Blessed One asks from Kaptika, the young man. Then that young man said, I never heard about that. I never heard. Then again, Blessed One asks, is there any teachers up to their seventh generation, who says about, I know this, I see this is only the truth, all else are false? The Kaptika young man said, I never heard about that. Then again, Blessed One asks, okay, is there any sect or the Brahmin such as Attaka, Vamaka, Vamadeva, Vissamita, Yamataggi, Angirasa, Bharadwaja, Vasitta, Kassapa, Bhagu? This is the ancient, very famous teacher's name. Blessed One said, the Brahmins, teachers, leaders, saying that name, Blessed One asks, who made this and protects these ancient Brahmin sermons day to day? Did they say, this is, I know this, I see this is only the truth, and all else are false? You understood? Blessed One asks any sect or Brahmin and told about ancient some teachers, famous teachers' names. Did they say, I know this, I see this is only the truth, all else false? Then that young man, the Kaptika, said, no, I never heard. Then Blessed One said, Bharadwaja, Kaptika, any single Brahmin did not see. Any teachers up to their seventh generations did not see. In any sect or Brahmin, the famous teachers who protect and made the ancient Brahmin sermons did not say. Bharadwaja, it's like a line of blind men holding their hand. Line of blind men holding their hand. The beginning, no see. And middle one, never see. And the last one, don't see, doesn't see. No one see, but follow. The Brahmin's teachings, like the Brahmin teaching, similar to the blind men's view. Isn't this faith is not well established? Blessed One asked. Then the Kaptika young man said, Good Gautama, Brahmin associate this teaching not only due to faith but also hearsay. He changed his word. When this was said, the Blessed One explained, Blessed One admonished, clear explanations, very important thing, because first his dispute is faith, now repeated hearing. Copernicus seemed to be not sure his stand. He changed words. So Blessed One illustrate list of 5 grounds which cause to view arise. List of 5 grounds. But they turn out in two different ways. The list of 5 grounds which support to view arise, they are faith, liking, repeated hearing or hearsay, careful thinking, and forbearance with view. This one I explained in last discussion about Kalama Sutta also. These 5 things can turn out in two different ways. One is due to faith, as example, let's see about faith, not all 5 these all 5. Let's see about faith. Due to faith, someone accepts the view, but still the view is useless, not true, and changing. And other way is due to faith reject the teaching, the view, but that rejected view is still useful, truth, and stable. In this way, if not understand, I'll give you one example. Just think about the Buddhism, the Blessed One's teaching. There are some other people who follow another religions. Their faith is to that teaching. So, because of faith, they accept their teacher's advice. But sometimes the teaching may be wrong and always changing, not real teaching, but due to faith they accept. That's the first. And due to that faith, they do not believe about Blessed One's teaching. They reject. But the Blessed One teaching is beyond the logic. Should be, as I explained in my last discussion, it should be realized by own experience, so can see the result same time. Such a useful truth and cannot change by any other teachings, reject because that faith. In this way, you can think about liking, and hearsay, repeated hearing again and again, have heard, so believe that one is true, because many people say it's this one. And another one, thinking, carefully think and When he think carefully, thinks, accept. Another one, forbearance with view, like that. And other hand, those teaching, whether it is truth or a false, that is not one's own experience, not personal realization. They believe that due to mere faith, or as they liken the ideas, some kind of ideas, or as many people say that one is good, rational, and when thinking, thought arise should be good, like that. Therefore, that teaching, such a teaching, Blessed One said, not real. So, when the Kapatika, the Bharadwaja said, the Brahmin associate this teaching not only due to faith, but also due to hearsay. Blessed One explained this. It mentioned in this course like this. Bharadwaja. First, your dispute was faith. Now, repeated hearing. You know, there are 5 things which can turn out in 2 different ways. The 5 things are faith, liking, hearsay, careful thinking, and forbearance with view. Each of these can turn out in 2 different ways. So, Bharadwaja, as a wise one, it is not suitable accept the view because of one side, thinking about one side. Blessed One explained this. When this was explained by the Blessed One, the Kapatika said, understood, because he is well educated. He can think, thinkable person. And he said, good Gautama, I would like to know then how to protect the teaching. How to protect the teaching? I asked about protections of teaching from good Gautama. Then Blessed One explained the difference between realizations and protection. How he explained, let's see. It's mentioned in the discourse like this. To a person's arise faith. He says, this is my faith. This is my faith. And he protect the teachings truthfully. Teaching protects the truthfully. He does not take superficial view. But he says, I know this, I see this. This is the truth. All else false. But that is not real, because this is only the product, not realization in any case. Likewise, you can understand about all other things Blessed One explained. Repeated hearing, careful thinking, and forbearance with view. Blessed One explained in this way, and he said again, it is not suitable to accept the one side. So one must realize by himself, then only really accept this is the truth. When the Blessed One explained about this, the carpenter, the young man, was satisfied and asked, "Good Gautama, I understood this much of protections. I know about the protections of the teaching. I would like to ask from you, good Gautama, how is realized the teaching?" When this was asked, the Blessed One pointed out very important part. This part is very important even for you. Carefully listen. Blessed One said, the pupil must examine the certain moral qualities of a teacher. People must examine a certain moral qualities of teachers. And then, after found such a good teacher, he must apply 12 steps of learning process. Begin with faith and end with the attainment. See, when you follow these 12 steps of the process, already he attained. This is a very important part. Okay, let's see how it's mentioned in the discourse. Okay, it mentioned like this: Bharadwaja, there's a venerable who lives on a village or hamlet, and a householder or a son of householder approached the venerable to examine him. He examined about greedy, hatred and delusion. If he is greedy person or a hateful person or a deluded person, examine about the venerable. While he is examining, then if he saw any such unwholesome action or thought arise in the monk, even the monk say, "I know this, I see this, this is the truth," also he will teach, but the householder or the son of householder can realize this is not real teaching. In this way, examine. The householder or a son of householder further examine. When he examine, he can see no any hateful, greedy or deluded ideas, but still cannot verify, cannot clearly see whether it is real teaching or not. So further examine, then he can see no any greedy thought, hateful thought or deluded thought. Also his behavior, the verbal and bodily behavior is very good. Not only that, his teaching is very deep, clear, but difficult to understand easily, and beyond the logic, clever, excellent, and should be experienced with wise one. Also not easy to do such things by a greedy, hateful or deluded person. Not only that, his mind is pure. When he see these things, these qualities, faith established in his mind. faith established in his mind. Understood? This is the first steps of learning process. He found the real teacher because he is different than other teachers. His behavior is good, no greedy, hateful or deluded thought. He has good qualities. So he found the teacher, then faith arises. When the faith arises, the second step, approach him. Always approach. When he has leisure, freedom, always go and see that teacher. When approach, then associate. What the means of that? Sometime I have seen many people visited to the monasteries. Even you also have seen, I think, many people, but just visit only. That means approach, but not associate. But some intelligent people, when approach to the monastery, they ask about, is there any suitable teacher? I have some question I want to discuss. Likewise. Then, due to faith, they approach. When approach, associate. When associate means discuss, ask question, or the teacher explains something, lend their ears to the word teaching. When lending the ear, listen the teaching, listen to the word. So next step is, when listening, bear the teachings in the mind. When the teachings born, when Dharma born in the mind, the next steps, very important parts, not just listening and throughout. Most of the people discuss, listen, but that's only. This part is very important. Examine the meaning. After discussion, after listening, we memorize those things and think about the meaning. If cannot understand, reacts from the teachers, like that. When examine the meaning, then speculations and interest arise. When the interest arises only when one think about the meaning of Dhamma. If not, just listen to only, no interest. But when examine the meaning, interest arises about Dhamma. Then, when interest arises, do not stop from there. Then again, discussion, examine, interesting. So, what will happen? So, wage fact. I explain this word later. When which arises in the mind, then fourfold of endeavor arise. When the fourfold of endeavor, effort, I think you have heard these words, Samma Vayami, Noble Eightfold Path, effort arise. When these arise, then wisdom arises. Wisdom arises to comprehend realizations. Then, when wisdom arises, when comprehend the things, act attainment. Blessed One explained this. These are 12 steps. Start with faith and end with attainment. When attained, nothing much to do. Everything he had done. When this was explained by the Blessed One, that young man, Karpatika, was so happy and again asked, "Oh, good Gautama, I was so happy, and now I would like to ask from you, good Gautama, what are the most important facts to develop wisdom, comprehend or attainment?" Then the Blessed One said, Bharadwaja, the most important fact fourfold of endeavor. It's mentioned in Noble Eightfold Path as right effort. 4 steps, fourfold. One is to avoid, second is to overcome, third is to develop, the fourth is to maintain. The effort needs to avoid, the effort needs to overcome, the efforts need to develop, and the efforts need to maintain. If I a little bit illustrate, the effort need to avoid means unwholesome things. Whatever arise, unwholesome things. What will arise? Unwholesome thought. To avoid such things need efforts. And second, overcome whatever already arise, unwholesome thought, to overcome, remove, clear, needs effort. And fourth is develop. Develop means wholesome thoughts, wholesome action. Whatever not arise, wholesome actions still to develop need effort. And another one is the wholesome thoughts already arise in the mind, to maintain, to protect these 4 steps. The most important factors for all those things is mindfulness. If someone has mindfulness, easily can do this everything. So the most important thing that. So try to be mindful always with your activities. And then Karpatika asks, good Gautama, what are the most important factors to develop fourfold of endeavor? Sammavirya. Then Blessed One said, Tulanayako Bharadwaja Bahupakaro Utsaho. Tulana means weighing. Tulana means balancing. The balancing is very important, most important factors to develop right effort or fourfold of endeavor. What is balancing? Already you have heard, I think, from our good teachers' advice or the teachings. That means while developing samatha or insight, vipassana, you have to balance your faculties. 5 faculties, especially faith faculty, faculty of energy, faculty of mindfulness, faculty of concentration, faculty of wisdom. All these should balance. If one of these increase, if not balance in the same level, cannot do this thing. it's long process, so now I'm not going to explain everything. In a future from my another discussion, I'll try to explain about that. And another thing is the enlightenment. You know about that, the 7 kind of enlightenments. Those 7 also should be balanced. If balance, then 4-fold of energy arises. Then when this was explained, the Karpatika, the young man, asks, okay, good Gautama, I would like to ask from you, what are the most important factors to develop Vajjana? Then Blessed One said, for the Vajjana, the most important factors is speculations and interests. Dhamma nijjana kanti bahopakaro or tulanaya. Bahopakaro tulanaya. Speculations and interest is most important factors. Dhamma nijjana kanti Pali terms. Then I think no need to explain that. Interest about Dhamma is simply. And then he asked, Bharata Karpatika asks from the Blessed One, what are the most important factors to develop speculation and interest? Blessed One said, examine the meaning. Examine the meaning. Attang upaparikkati, Pali terms. The meaning, examine. When examine, the meaning only arises. This what interest about Dhamma. Then he asks, what are the important factors to develop examine Dhamma? Then he said, the Blessed One said, for that purpose you must listen. Listening to Dhamma is very important. Now you can understand about the answer of the Blessed One. First, the Blessed One explained from beginning to the end, attainment, from the faith to attainment. Then he revised in teaching. He revised same thing up to the beginning point. Now we discuss up to the listening. For the listening, one must lend their ears. If not lend ear, even though someone in front of the teachers while teaching, if not lend the ear, cannot hear. He must do that. And for that purpose, he must associate. If not associate the teachers, no chance to lend the ear and listen to Dhamma. Then for that purpose, he must approach. And to approach, the most important factors need faith. If not faith, no one will approach to such a place. So the beginning is the faith, and the end of the process is attainment. See how nice this teaching, how useful this teaching, the Blessed One explanation. When complete this teaching, when finish this teaching, that Karpatika young man, not only the young man, actually all the 500 Brahmin, including the teacher, the leader, Chunky, was so happy. So happy. Then said, the young man said, reckless Gautama, good Gautama, when I asked about protections of the teaching, clearly explained about that, I was so happy. And when I asked about the realizations, also clearly explained good Gautama. And then when I asked about the attainment, also explained nicely. I asked again and again most important factors for each steps, also clearly explained. We are so happy, so Actually, we had some misunderstand about this with these shaved man, what they are doing, this mendicant, what they know. Many problems we had as a Brahmin, but now we understood how intelligent. So since today, please accept us as your pupils. Since today I go towards the Blessed One as refuge. I go towards the teaching as refuge. I go towards the Birbal Sangha as refuge. Please accept me as the followers. He said, all the Brahmins, including the young man and the teacher, since that they become Blessed One's pupils, followers, Dhamma followers, because he understood this teaching is so clear. So according to this, I think you understood. You are so lucky because we have got such a teachers. Even though today Blessed Ones not appears in front of us, the teaching still appears in front of us because our great teacher, who is teacher? Most venerable Pa Auk Sayadaw, most venerable. Now we name Mahathira. We have associated, we have learned from them. So you and me so lucky. We have got that chance. What we should do? The Blessed One advice: practice, develop, make much on same things, which leads to the realization. Yes, this is my advice today. By the power of this merit which I collected from distributing this Dhamma, I would like to wish you all, may you have good health, may you have long life, and may you have a chance to follow this good Dhamma. May you attain Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, once again let's see with such a Dhamma discussion. Till that, I'll stop from here. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.